This time on Whatever We Want, we talk about
Avatar 2 versus Puss in Boots 2, a sequel showdown. Spoilers, major, huge, big spoilers ahead. There are time codes down in the description if you'd like to jump around to different points in the episode. We talk everything
from animation to water to James Cameron's love of feet.
To James Cameron's obsession with water, not feet. Enjoy! Welcome back to Whatever We Want, where we review content across all memes and media, movies, TV shows, video games, and beyond to give you the most interesting behind-the-scenes insight, storytelling techniques, all that jazz, and more.
We go over everything from Disney, Marvel, Pixar, DC. Without further ado, let's jump right into it.
PreBanter, PreBanter, peanut butter. Daniel, it's been a while.
It has been a hot minute.
Not for our audience members, so for those who don't know, we took 3 weeks break off of recording. As you can tell, it's been a while. It doesn't seem like that because we just backloaded a ton of content, but I went home for the holidays, so we had content. We just recorded a bunch. So last time we recorded was literally, it will be a month ago, so December 10th.
It's weird to think about because I feel like out of a groove a little bit.
Well, we're gonna get back in that groove.
But at the same time, I was able to actually see you, so it was nice, you know. So yeah, it was good. It was good to be home. You know, we got to see some movies together. I think we only saw 2 movies together, and those are the 2 movies we're talking about today. Yeah, but it was nice being back. Like in LA, I've been going out and going to movies with some of my roommates and friends, but like a lot of the time I see it alone because I have to see it early so we can talk about it for the podcast. So it was nice to be in the theater with you and like. Just it's like old times, dude.
Yeah. But also a little bit of pre-banter up top before we get into those 2 movies. Your demo is now officially out.
Yes,
we said it was out the last 2 or 3 episodes, and it kind of just came out. There were some Steam issues we had to take care of.
So we had to get the go ahead from Steam. So they have some. They don't allow you to do it on a holiday or anything like that. So you got to wait some days. So we got to go ahead. It's all good. It's working with Oculus, so if you guys have an Oculus Quest and a PC, go ahead, download the demo. Right now, we're currently going through some testing to make sure it can work with other headsets. But with all that said, go give it a try. Let's know what you think.
That's cool. And then we've also got some news that happened over the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, there's been a lot.
There's been a lot, but I just kind of want to go over some of the highlights that I thought were interesting. Well, first, Superman, since we've been gone, Henry Cavill is gone as Superman. Yeah. That was a while ago, but we haven't talked about it yet.
Literally, Black Adam was like, "Oh yeah, he's here. They're going to have a fight." James Gunn's like, "Nah."
Yeah, he's the real hierarchy change. That's what The Rock was alluding to. He never said himself. He was talking about James Gunn coming in. He was foreshadowing that. So yeah, I feel bad for Henry Cavill because he lost The Witcher and lost Superman, but I think he lost The Witcher. I think there's been more news that came out that it's more like he wasn't really happy with the creative direction. So whether or not Superman came along, he probably would have left The Witcher anyways.
Interesting.
But now he just doesn't have Superman. But I think it's in talks. I think he's attached to be a part of the Warhammer franchise, which is another nerdy kind of tabletop game, which I feel like is kind of his niche, I guess.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure he'll be all right. He's a huge star, both physically and stardom wise.
What else we got?
So this next one, Donald Glover is attached to star and produce as Hypno-Hustler. It's like a Sony Spider-Man project. So you know how Sony owns all the Spider-Man projects and they're doing Morbius and the MCU, the Morbius Cinematic Universe, of course. Donald Glover is attached for a new movie with Hypno-Hustler, who I believe was a character that was around in the 70s and is a kind of disco.
Oh wait, yeah, I think we did talk about this before a little bit. Yeah,
I think you and I did, but I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast. Yeah. So I mean, Donald Glover is, obviously Childish Gambino, so he apparently was drawn to the musical aspect of it. If you look up the character comic book, his look, it's really interesting. It's very 70s, disco. Yeah, and I think it would be cool. I think he'd do great as that.
I think it'd be very fun, very different, but also I think he'd fit into that very well.
Yeah, it's weird though because he was the Prowler, in the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, not the Morbius CU.
He's technically the Prowler. Did we ever get confirmation that he was technically?
Well, in the deleted scene, he calls Miles in Homecoming when he's on the car and he's like, I have to get to my nephew's birthday party or whatever. In a deleted scene, he does call and he's like, "Hey Miles, I'm sorry, I'm not going to make it." So he is Miles Morales' uncle, but I don't know if that like ever led to anything with being the Prowler besides like selling some of those weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
Or buying the weapons, whatever he did. Some transaction of weapons. Yeah, so that's interesting. Are you excited about that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm usually very skeptical about the Sony stuff, but with Donald Glover starring and producing, like I trust him. So
yeah, same. I think it's going to be something. Again, I think it's going to be something that's different, but it's going to have its own energy. It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
it's going to be a good time.
All right. What if it's like really serious, like the Joker? Like,
Maybe you go that route too. You never know.
Maybe, yeah. All right, and then last bit of news. I just like this kind of came out of nowhere, but Hans Zimmer scored the latest MrBeast video.
I still haven't seen that. I totally forgot about that.
It's MrBeast like survived 50 hours in Antarctica, which is really cool that he went there and did that. But like when he's like MrBeast is like climbing a mountain and like it's a Hans Zimmer like score. It's like epic, this epic quest of like MrBeast climbing a mountain in Antarctica, which is actually so sick. Like I think it's so cool that like creators on the YouTube space and wherever are like collabing with these. And I appreciate Hans Zimmer that he's not like, oh, I'm too big for that. He's like, yeah, I'll do that. Like he's willing to try it. I think that's really sick.
Yeah, no, I love that too. It's great to see when just creatives from different disciplines in general be able to like combine and work together and in ways that you don't necessarily even think of. Because like, you know, you think of MrBeast and it's like, oh, he's funny or he's doing his thing, whatever, you know, giving money out.
That's
whatever,
exactly what I think when I hear MrBeast. He's funny. He's doing his thing. Yep, that's it. Money. He's in Fortnite now as well.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's funny doing his thing. His thing is being in
Fortnite. Oh my god. But you know what I mean. Yeah, it's just cool to see. I thought you were going to talk about also Jeremy Renner and the state that he's in right now.
Oh yeah. Didn't he I haven't seen too much of that because that was all happening when I was traveling back here. He was in like a snowmobile accident or something like that.
Yeah, so he was helping out his family member. Like they were like snowed in or something like that in their vehicle or something. I don't know what the situation was, but he got ran over by his own plow, I believe, by like some freak accident, and he was like in critical condition. I believe he's stable now, but he had to go through like intense surgeries and all that stuff. It was crazy, but it seems like he's
I
getting
saw
better.
His post where he was like, I can't type, but like I'm okay. And it just reminded me of the Family Guy. This is so bad, but it reminded me of Family Guy spoof where he's like at the convention and he sees like a fake hospital bed. He's like, oh, a hospital bed for social media attention. And Peter lays down and is like messes up his hair and is like takes a picture, posts, I don't want to talk, but I'm okay. And then his phone blows up and he's like, well, this is the last thing I want. And it did like I hate that reminded me of that, but it reminded me of that. But I'm seriously like, all jokes aside, I'm really glad that he's okay.
I'm happy that he's getting better. Yeah. It's funny you say that because that reminds me when I broke my leg and all I did was post on Instagram like, well, this happened. And then my phone blew up. I'm like, it's weird how that works. Yeah. I can speak to the proof in the pudding in that.
That's what you, Jeremy Renner, and Peter Griffin all have in common. All right.
Yeah.
You ready to jump into the main segment?
Yeah. What we're talking about today, Jake. We kind of already alluded to it.
This is a new episode topic. It's called Sequel Showdown. So we're talking about Avatar 2 versus Puss in Boots 2. And you know how much I like alliteration, so Sequel Showdown I felt like had a nice ring to it.
Yeah, it does. I like that a lot.
I literally was so sleep deprived last night when I was finishing up these notes that I like couldn't think of Showdown. I had Sequel Battle and I was like, what's an alliteration? So I just looked up battle synonyms and I saw like Squandry, and so I was like Sequel Squandry, and I was like, that doesn't sound good. And then like literally that like 0 hour right before I went to bed last night, I was like, Showdown, that's it. It just came to me in my sleep deprived
and then you just passed out.
Yeah, Showdown, and then I like collapsed it. Yeah, convulsed.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
that's funny. But no, it sounds good. I like it.
So if I'm not as sharp today, it's because all my brain power went to coming up with the word Showdown. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I mean, these are the two movies that you and I both saw in December when I was home. So that's why we didn't talk about it in the past few episodes because we recorded those early, as I said earlier. So Avatar 2 and Puss in Boots 2. It's called Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. We'll talk about each one individually and then kind of determine like which one's the best. But like, I mean, just overall, what do you think of both of them?
That's the thing. They both are actually great, like in their own right.
Yeah.
Like Puss in Boots was kind of like this like secret gem.
Yeah, it was like out of nowhere. People need to see Puss in Boots People
they do
need to see it while it's still in theaters, please.
Do you know what it's at right now? Do you know?
Yes, I looked it up yesterday, and as of yesterday, it was at $150.6 million. Let me double check that.
Up.
Let me see if it's gone up by will of just like me willing people to go, having not told anyone. Actually, it has gone up a little bit because my roommate went to a screening last night. So it's at least another movie ticket more. 150.6004 million. All right, Daniel, riff while I do this.
The first thing I thought of, like, it was like the Seinfeld, like the like intro thing, like. I'm like, oh,
it's gone up. Sorry,
I
interrupted your riff. It's at 156.1 million, so it's made $6 million more in a day.
Nice, dang. Man,
I wish I could make.
I wish I had numbers like that. Yeah,
I don't have Puss in Boots level of cred though, I guess. Yeah, but we'll get into the budget, that stuff. But Avatar 2 is a lot more. Let's say that.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
I know they finally broke even.
Oh yeah, I think I saw it recently. Like, it just broke. I saw a post today that it's just passed Avengers 1. So it's like the 9th highest grossing movie of all time, which means it's profitable and means that the 3rd and 4th one, like the sequels, are approved like officially. I didn't know they weren't approved because he filmed 3, but I guess now they're approved. So that's good, I guess.
So they're filmed. I'm assuming they're not edited.
The 3rd one is filmed. The 4th one is not.
Yeah.
They filmed 2 and 3 back to back.
Yeah. So 3's filmed.
Now they can do the VFX on it.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
I also want to talk about Avatar first because Avatar 2 first, and then we'll talk about Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Yeah.
I just want to say, disclaimer: I was hungover when I was seeing Avatar 2. I was very hungover. I was in Philly the night before with my old roommates from college, and like had the worst hangover of my 2022 the next day, and like almost didn't make it to the screening. But like at the end of the day, I like rallied and was like, all right, gotta get ice cream. We gotta do our Secret Santa, and then let's go see Avatar 2. It was like a very impromptu decision to go see Avatar 2, but we did. What do you think overall?
It was a good time, but I was going to say this. This is just like out of pocket, but we had a magical moment.
Oh my gosh.
It's the way of the water. And oh my God, there's this one moment in the movie. Spoilers, but oh my God. There's a scene where the one kid is getting chased by like this underwater like whale shark kind of thing.
It's a big fish, yeah.
Yeah. Out of nowhere, off a screen right, there's like a bigger fish that comes in and takes it out as he's trying to go up and get some air.
Yeah, like chomps on it, right? Well, it's like wait. Sorry, I don't know, like lay the groundwork. I mean, it's if you've seen the movie, you know what we're talking about. But the fish is like chasing for like an extended period of time, a very long time, the son of Jake Sully, and he's like trapped. And you're like, oh my gosh, how is he gonna get out of this? And then like out of nowhere, another big fish like attacks him and like bites him and saves
the son.
The son.
Yeah.
And then what do we do?
And then, but instinctively, like Jake, you're on my right, I'm on your left. As we're in the movie theater, we instinctively turn to each other and we're like, "There's always a bigger fish."
Yeah,
like we were like this close, dude. For video listeners, like we were like an inch away from each other because that's how fast we both turned.
We both just like we're like, "There's always a bigger fish." And we said it like in sync. Probably anyone around us is probably like, "Why are these idiots talking?" But like, just had that Star Wars. That was like a core memory, you know, in Inside Out, where like you have like the 6 core memories. That's one of mine now.
Same.
Yeah, we was always a bigger fish, and then we laughed because we both said it, and then laughed because we were like in sync. And Evan and Tyler, our friends that were with us that saw it, they're like, "What
are they doing?"
It was just like such a nerd, like pure moment.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Overall, for Avatar 2, I thought it was pretty good. I think it was a good sequel and definitely had like a lot to live up to. It did a good job, in my opinion. It didn't like blow me out of the water, as much as the first one. But I think that's just because the first one was like so new and like this technological marvel. And this one is technologically impressive, but it's like set in the same world that we're used to. Like because the first one was like so unexpected, something new and novel. I think that elevated it a bit. But this one still added to it and was definitely different and great in my mind still.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, this also can be argued a bit too, though, because like it's still Pandora, but with Way of the Water, what they did is they're used to like floating islands and like the trees, but now you're underwater with all the corral, you know,
corral
and little fishies.
Yeah, I'm just imagining like a Rotten Tomatoes review, like, you know, this is Pandora, but it's different. There's the fishies and the corral.
There's just Mrs. Puff.
Dude, imagine just like the way the water, and then just like Mrs. Puff floats by, just like looking like Mrs. Puff from SpongeBob, just like so out of place. The most ambitious crossover in cinema history.
There's one thing I just thought of though. That's kind of like, I don't want to say plot holy, but like they had those like wing lung things. Like they put them on like wings underwater, and they could be like, oh, these are for breathing.
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't you just use those like all the time? You know?
I know. Well, they're probably like, it's cruel because they're their own creatures, and we can't just kidnap them whenever we please. You know, they kind of do that whenever they're around.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I get that. Like, why don't they just, like, in the armory, just have, like, a bunch of those hung up as, like, backpacks that you just grab when you grab your gun or something, you know?
Yeah.
Or your bow and arrow if you're Zoe Saldana.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe, Daniel, maybe we should go there, and if we are ever on Pandora, we have to become those backpack breeders, and we'll be, like, billionaires.
Oh, that's the thing to think about. I was actually thinking about this the other day, because...
Becoming backpack breeders?
Well, no, not that, but, like, the state in which... these people are at, because if you think about it, they're still hunter-gatherer. Like, they're not even doing agriculture yet. Like, they're not farming or anything like that. They're highly... Right. It's also different, too, because their relationship with everything else is more symbiotic. Like, with their little entrail...
Right, so they're probably less inclined to, like, to innovate and, like, have, like, an industrial revolution kind of thing. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Because they're so connected to nature. That might be a statement on society.
Yeah.
Maybe we were like that and we've lost our way. The way of water. Oh my gosh!
But no, it's just interesting to think about, you know, because it's something that, like, I don't know, for us, like, we naturally, like, you're thinking about, like, hey, how do we make this more efficient? How do we make it? But with that mindset, like, that's where we instantly go to when we look at, like, those winged lung things. But again, with your point, it's like, oh, they're there, you know, they're vibing, they have their own right in nature. Right. So it's kind of just interesting to think about that perspective.
Sorry, you just said like about being one with nature. I saw a really bad like TikTok where it was like me after seeing Avatar 2, and then it's like he's trying to be connected to everything, so he like sticks his penis inside like a truck, like and he's like, I'm like, wow, what does the internet come to?
Oh my god,
this would never happen after the first Avatar.
Oh my god.
But anyways, speaking of weird obsessions, James Cameron has like a weird obsession with water.
How so?
Have you not noticed? Like all of his movies are about like water. Like his first like breakaway was The Abyss.
Yeah.
Like that water creature, first CG like water, where we learned about light and magic. Then there was Titanic. That's about water a lot. Like the last half of the movie is about the ship sinking. I guess maybe it's just those two, Titanic and Avatar. But The Way of Water,
those two
and The Abyss.
Big.
Yeah.
Like huge. And then there's also this one.
I'm sure there's water in the Terminators.
Well, I mean, fluid physics with the T2s.
Yeah. Very true. I feel like James Cameron with water is like Quentin Tarantino with feet, honestly. No, I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm not being ironic. Like, I think that's like he really likes water physics and just, I mean, he's like turned on by it, but like likes to experiment with that because there's a lot of that in his movies, which is fine.
Yeah,
found your niche, your niche.
Do what you like, do what you love, you know. Yeah.
So we have seen The Way of Water. Do you think there's other cultures out there? Like, we might see like the desert people. Like we've got a Dune, Avatar crossover coming in the works.
So it was funny because the first thing I noticed, like you know, when they landed there at the village, like the teenagers are all like eyeing each other up. I'm like, oh, they're going to be finding themselves, they're Latinas, you know, like. And then instantly, as soon as I thought that, there was the girl that like showed up on screen.
Oh my god!
I'm like, oh my god, I knew it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know if I don't want to say and that like I'm comparing them to people in the real world, but I think they are trying to like put distinctions between them. Like the tree people are kind of like have longer, skinnier limbs because it's used to like get around trees.
Yeah, they're more agile to like throw themselves around and.
But the water people have like bigger chests because they need a higher lung capacity to breathe underwater, and the freaking tail.
It was not even just the tail. The arms had flaps. Yeah, like those designed with like a whole like skin flap wing thing, so they could like push more efficiently.
Right.
Which is also weird to think about. Like how long have these tribes been apart? Right. But still are connected to each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did like seeing the other culture and a different side to Pandora. Overall, with this movie, it was very long. Like 3 hours is a long movie. Like maybe some stuff could have been cut. I don't know.
It was entertaining throughout, though. I will say that.
Yeah. I think I read somewhere or heard somewhere that like this movie was like written by James Cameron and a screenwriting like couple, like a pair. And I think that helped with it because I feel like the first one, I would have to revisit it, but I kind of remember it being not like flat, but it was just kind of like Jake Sully like dundering around being like, oh, I don't know what's happening. And it was kind of like, all right, I don't know if these people are acting like real humans all the time.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
And this one felt more like fleshed out like a family story. And I think that helped sell it a lot more to me and helped me connect with it. I just like the whole family story aspect to it.
Here's my one problem with that, and it's the death of the one son. Because
he had no character development.
He was pretty much set up to be the death, but then there's no connection to that death. Like,
if like the second son died, I would have been like, whoa.
Like, I'd be like, because the whole movie was like revolving around him, you know?
Yeah, it was interesting because Jake Sully wasn't really, I feel like, the main character this time. Except like at the end where they were like, all right, it's always been this villain versus Jake Sully. Like, they're coming at it again. And I was like, okay, I guess we kind of didn't really follow his story entire. Like, we did follow it, but like it wasn't the only story happening, which is maybe why it was like 3 hours. But yeah, what do you think of the villain? It's the same villain as the first one, but like,
but it's not
now an Avatar.
It's a clone with the memories and all that stuff. So it's kind of weird. Not gonna lie, like I get it, but I'm also just like,
I kind of liked it.
I liked it too, but I'm also just like the relationship between him and his son
and Spider.
Quote, yeah.
That was a little interesting. I do want to talk about that, but I just want to say the relationship, like the villain, the decision to go with the military dude, but like make him like kind of a clone or whatever. At first, I was like, oh, they're just kind of doing the same villain. That's kind of tacky. But I think it makes sense because they just introduced a new bad guy out of the blue, especially because there was 15 years time jump. This would kind of feel a little unearned. Like so much time passes in real life and in the movie world that the like fact that it's the same villain or like kind of the same villain, you still have that emotional attachment. So, you know, it like really resonates with the characters that they're up against and with the audience. Like you don't have to build up another villain or waste time doing that in this already long movie, you know?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. That is a good point. I feel like something they could have pushed more though. I don't know. I feel like he would have had more conflict internally for when it came to like, okay, I have this guy's personality and his memories, but like, who am I with this? You know what I mean? Like, I'm still in the system doing my thing, but like...
I get that, but I feel like just the initial guy that he was cloned of was so much just like a military, like, just kind of push through it, like, push your emotions down. Yeah, that he, like, doesn't really... Even the base person wouldn't think that way. And so I don't think if he was a clone, I still don't think he would care, honestly. That's just my thought. All right, the visuals, before we get into the rest of the cast.
Yes.
The visuals are freaking crazy. The water... The fact that they have Spider, a human kid, interacting with all these blue Na'vi people that are different sizes is insane. But just speaking of Spider, and that this will kind of tie me into like the rest of the cast, Jack Champion was the kid's name, and he pretty much spent like almost half of his life working on this movie, on Avatar 2.
Really?
And 3, because he filmed back to back. Yeah, so he got the role when he was 12. They filmed it from when he was like 14, between like 14 to 16 and maybe a little bit after that with like reshoots and stuff. And now he's like 18 or 19 or something like that.
That is so weird to think about. It's like I spent half my life on an alien planet.
I spent half my life in water.
Oh my God.
He said it was interesting because like he can tell the age jump, but it happens between scenes sometimes. Like he's 14 in like a scene, then it cuts and he's like 16. So like he can tell. I think they did a good job hiding it. I didn't really notice it. Yeah. But like he said, he can tell because like sometimes his face, you obviously like notice on yourself more than anyone else would notice. But
he's like, oh, my face is softer there. I mean, that's one thing they did smart.
Like, I have like abs here. That's weird.
Because like, he had that face cover for majority of it. So like, especially if it's like a wide shot or something like that, like that hides very well.
True.
I didn't even know that. That's pretty cool.
The fact that they just had the human in every scene, like interacting with blue Na'vi people, was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about the rest of the cast. Jake Sully again. Do you think they're setting up his son to take over and be like the new protagonist?
I could see that, honestly.
Yeah.
They said what? The fifth one's gonna be on Earth?
Something like that. Like they're eventually gonna get to Earth. I don't know which one it is.
I wouldn't be surprised if the son that was like the protagonist in this movie. He sees more of his family die. Like, it could be Jake, it could be also both his parents.
Zoe Saldana.
It might be like him and his, the adopted sister?
Kate Winslet. No, that's not Kate Winslet. That's someone else. Kate Winslet was the wife of the water chief leader, the pregnant one, I believe. No. And she actually, sorry, this is a little tangent, but she broke the record holding your breath underwater for a movie scene. It used to be Tom Cruise at like 6 minutes, and Kate Winslet did 7 minutes 15 seconds.
Dang.
There's like a video of her like coming up, and she's like, "Am I dead?" And they're like, "No, you're good. You're here." Like, she literally thought she died.
Holy.
Yeah. Like, why? Like,
bro,
it's not
why
a
would
7
you stay under that
shot.
long? Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe she was having a 7-minute conversation with the whale, her whale companion that died.
But no, I forget now what I was saying.
Sorry. Jake Sully, Earth.
Oh, no. Yeah, no. So I think what's going to happen is that he and the girl that had the seizure or whatever, the adopted sister, that they're going to lead an invasion to Earth as like a counter thing.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Like as revenge. Interesting.
Maybe revenge could be just like F off, you know?
That's interesting. I don't know how that would go, because I feel like the Na'vi, the reason they do so well is because their size and their home turf advantage. Because, like you said, they're more hunter-gatherers. I think humans...
What would happen if the humans did overpower on Pandora? Like, what would their options be then?
Well, I don't know, because they did say Earth. In this one, they said Earth was, like, dying. That's why they're at Pandora. So that would suck if they were forced to go to Pandora. Just, maybe they don't invade. They just are like, well, we were pushed off our planet. Let's go to Earth. And then Earth, dies. And then all the Na'vi die at the end. That's how Avatar ends. That would suck. I just want to say, before moving on with Jake Sully, I liked seeing him a decade on into this world, because I feel like in the first one it was all like, what the heck's this? What's going on? Everything's new. And then I think the time jump in real life, this came 11, 12 years, however long after the first one. Maybe it was 13. I don't know how long it was, but it's that time has passed and Jake Sully is actually competent in this world. That was cool to see that. And it just made sense, I felt like.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Also, sorry, I want to talk about Puss in Boots. I'm kind of rushing through these last ones. But Zoe Saldana, I wish we had more of her.
Yes.
I think it's incredible how much emotion she gets through the motion capture, and how much her performance resonates with me, and how just distraught she is all the time. And also just how badass she is, with her freaking bow and arrow. I wish we had more of that, honestly.
That was the best part, when I had more reaction to her when her son died than the son dying.
Yeah.
Because her guttural, motherly, reaction, her crazy eye, and seeing that in CGI, that was, it didn't even process that with CGI. It just felt real. Oh, she is on a murder spree now. She's going to go get her bag.
And I imagine that's so tough to do in a big mocap suit, but the fact that she, delivered, and then it translates so well, she is amazing in this role. Yeah. Apparently, Zoe Saldana said if you like Avatar 2, just wait for Avatar 3. It's so much better. So I'm excited for that.
Well, damn.
Apparently, also, speaking about the future, James Cameron said that Avatar 4, he wrote the script for 2, 3, and 4. 2 had a couple pages of notes. 3 had 1 or 2 pages of notes. And 4, the studio had 0 notes. They were like, wow. So 4, man, gotta wait, but woo. We'll get there.
Dang.
Sorry, I'm just rushing through these last things because, again, we'll talk about Puss in Boots, make sure we have time. But so gross. Apparently, it needed $2 billion to break even or something like that. That might have been a rumor, but it has made $1.5 billion.
What I could do with $1.5 billion.
As of today, recording number. So it just passed Top Gun and is technically now the highest grossing movie of 2022.
Dang.
That came out in 2022. Dang.
That's a lot.
Any other last minute thoughts on this you have?
No, that's pretty much it. I kind of want to talk about Puss in Boots.
Yeah. Well, my overall last minute thoughts on Avatar 2. I don't know if it's much of a cultural phenomenon as the first one. I think it was good, a lot of good elements. The family story was different. I like that this one wasn't about Jake Sully's personal survival. It was about ensuring protecting his family's survival. Yeah. And safety. And I think that was a good distinction between the two movies and good growth with the character. Yeah. So I'm excited for the future ones. I don't know. Do you think the characters really changed from the beginning to the end of this one? I guess maybe in the beginning, Jake Sully was I need to protect the tribe, and then it was oh no, this villain's back. It's all about protection of my family. But I feel like he made that change when he decided to go see the water people, and then after that, he didn't really change after that, you know?
Yeah, well, after that, I feel like he's trying to adapt to that new situation because he was like, I need to sacrifice my title, my accomplishments, what I've done before.
Yeah, I guess
for
accepting
my family.
that fact.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Okay. All right. Ready for sequel Squandry Showdown number 2?
Yes. So Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. What do you think overall?
Beautiful. Beautiful. The leche. The animation. Dude, the fluid physics with like it being also on twos and stuff like that.
I thought you said food physics, not fluid. I was like, what?
Well, technically, if you're talking about leche, I guess, but it's more of a drink though. Anywho, but no, like just the way that like all the animation was done, they took notes from Spider-Verse and like how can you extend animation to express what you're trying to do in 3D? And that's something I've been loving with animation nowadays, that Spider-Verse is able to bring on and like provoke creatives to like push. It's just amazing to see.
100%. I agree.
Also, just the blocking and like the way that the camera work was done alongside
and the choreography of the characters themselves. Yeah.
It was just beautiful.
Yeah, but here, my overall thoughts. I freaking love this movie, dude. This was so good. Like, I was seeing all the good reviews before I went and saw it, and I was like, is it really that good? Yes, it's really that good. Like, I think we talked a couple weeks ago about the last time that Pixar used to innovate was like the early 2000s, and now they might be like plateauing. And we said that DreamWorks with Puss in Boots and Sony with Spider-Verse were innovating, but that was before we saw Puss in Boots 2. Now, having seen it, I stand by that statement. Like,
yes, agreed.
Oh my gosh. Like, I never really was attached to Puss in Boots as like a character. I liked him in like the Shrek movies, but like this film really made me like latch onto his story and like care about what happened to him in his journey of accepting that he's not this unkillable legend, and kind of having that reality check and ego check and just learning to accept being happy with the life he has. And that was just so awesome.
Yeah.
Highly recommend seeing this in theaters if you can.
Also, death.
Yeah, the villain.
Death throughout the whole movie. Oh my God.
Dude, I love where he just like really drilled was like, I am death. Like, literally death, not figuratively, not metaphorically, not any illy. I am literally death. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And he's just menacing. Like, dude, DreamWorks with their villains, the Kung Fu Panda villains, and death. Like, I liked all the villains and all the characters. Like, I felt like it easily could have been overbearing, because there were bears.
Because Goldilocks and bears, yeah.
Yeah, but because there were so many characters, like Goldilocks and Three Bears, the Jack Pie Man. And death.
Jacksepticeye pie.
Yeah. But like, I just really liked all of their stories. Like, I liked Goldilocks and the Three Bears a lot. Like, her learning to accept her
family,
her found family. Yeah. Instead of wishing for a new one. The optimistic dog, I felt like could have been so annoying, but like wasn't. I really I liked his character.
Had a lot of heart to him.
Yeah.
Dude, I also love the points to where like he would just start cursing.
Oh my gosh.
Because like that's so out of pocket. Because like, dude, like everyone else in the theater besides you and me, I feel like was like a mom or dad with their like army of kids
behind us.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude, that kid behind us. It's
all right.
But
don't let taint your perception of Puss in Boots.
It didn't. It was still an amazing movie.
The fact that we had a bad theater experience and still love Puss in Boots shows how good Puss in Boots was.
Yeah,
dude, the wolf death was so sick. The musical cue, like the whistle that like happened and drained the color from like Puss's face every time he heard it. And I love when he had like a panic attack and then like the dog like just lay on his lap and comforted him. That moment was so pure. So awesome. And it also helped the dog realize his goal of being like a therapy dog. Like, that was so awesome. Dang, man, this movie didn't have to go this hard, and it did.
And then there was Soft Paws too. You know,
soft paws. The only thing, and again, I don't know if this is criticism because I'd have to go rewatch the first Puss in Boots. I think the first one, it was like kind of the similar story with Soft Paws and Puss in Boots, where they're just like learning to trust each other. But I think an argument can be made that because Puss in Boots broke that trust in the first one, it makes sense that they have to regain that trust and kind of rebuild that same path. So that treading the same footsteps, paw prints, makes sense in my mind. So yeah, I just kind of debunked my own argument there. But dude, and all the battles you were talking about, the like choreography, every action sequence, I was like, dang, like I saw someone give a review and they were like, when you saw the frames start to drop, you knew it was gonna go down.
Getting intense.
Like, yeah. Like the first battle in the beginning with like the giant, before when he still felt like he was indestructible, it was so sick seeing Puss like at his height when he still thought he was like at his indestructible. I think that was good for us to see, and then to see how far he's fallen. And then like the next action sequence with the Jack's Pie Factory escape, and then like how that bled into the cart chase across town. Then the Enchanted Forest and the huge action fight with all the characters, like with the changing scenery every time someone different grabbed the map, and then the fight with Death on the star at the end. Oh my gosh. I love also the fight with Death at the end and Puss in Boots. They both move so fast, but you can tell what's happening. Like it's fast, which gives you excitement, but also like it's
readable.
Yeah, and it's readable, so you can follow. It's not just like random gibberish happening. So I liked that a lot.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was talking about the camera work, because that's something that can easily get lost when you're doing
in the sauce,
intensive animation or just movements.
Yeah,
and that's why that was really well done. It needs to go hand in hand. But yeah, all in all, dude, it blew my mind. Again, like I said before, it's like it just came kind of like out of pocket. Like you weren't really expecting it.
Yeah.
But it was this nice gem that you're just like, man, that was a really good movie, you know?
I don't know why they released it the same time as Avatar 2, though. Like, I do not understand that decision. Maybe it was the only time that it worked. But like, just the story was so good. Like, I think I said it earlier, but like, it's Puss's journey, learning to accept his mortality and lose his legend status so that he can accept others into his life, like the dog and Kitty Softpaws. Like, that's such a good message, and it was executed so well.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. What life of his do you think he was with Shrek?
Oh, probably an early one. I didn't like track every single one. Definitely not the jacked one. That's the only one I can like distinguish. Yeah. Not the drunk one either, I don't think. I was watching a video of like the evolution of Puss in Boots over the years, and there was one where he was with Shrek, where he was like let himself go, he retired and was like fat. Was there like a fat Puss in Boots in the maybe it was the roid one. Maybe he was fat first and then became the roid guy.
He's like, I gotta work out. Yeah.
So maybe the roid one is at the end of his life, and so when he saw Shrek, he was like, I don't want to end up like that, and he started working out. So maybe that one actually. What do you think? I think it was probably an early one, like two or three.
Yeah, literally that's what I was gonna say, 2 or 3.
Because he's sure of himself, and then because I think he would have had to. I'm gonna say 3. The reason I say that is because he have to have had lost 2 lives. Because when we see him in Shrek, he's like uber confident, like the legend status. I think he would have, in his first life, just been a normal cat. Then he would have died once, been like, I'm alive. And then kind of like maybe started getting that legend status, then died again. And he's like, I can't die. And then he just like has this persona of like, I'm a legend. So at least the 3rd one, I think, is when he had... Like, does that make sense?
No, I totally get that. Like, that development there, like, totally sounds solid.
Yeah. We're just retroactively writing the lore to Puss in Boots. That's just how good that movie is, because I want to know that now.
We get Puss in Boots, like, sequel. Or, prequels.
Prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I would love to see just anything in the Shrek universe in this style. Like, that would be, like, Shrek
that'd be great.
5. I mean, they alluded to it at the end.
Dude, at the end, yeah.
Do you think they're going to do one?
Oh, yeah, dude. You can't do that at the end and then not do it. Like, come on.
I mean, I guess if it makes money, it's currently at $156 million, but the budget was $130 million. So, like, I think with marketing, it probably hasn't broken even yet. So, people, go see the movie so we can have Shrek 5 with the Spider-Verse, like, freaking crazy animation style. Imagine just, like, Shrek... I don't know, with like the action lines and animated on 2s.
That would be... I would pay for that,
I need a hero blaring.
I need a hero. Bam! Like, dude, that would be so sweet.
We should do a... I watched every Shrek movie. Like every...
He pulls a candle out of his ear, and there's that one frame where it's just like, pop.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like in Spider-Man, like the action frames.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of disgusting, but also, yeah, it would be stylized and cool.
Right?
The perfect mix. I feel like that's how you describe Shrek, so I feel like that is, they have to do it now.
Oh man.
How do you think it ranks against other Shrek films in the SCU, Shrek Cinematic Universe?
Okay, so there's Shrek 1 and 2.
I don't know. I need to rewatch all the Shrek movies. We should do a Shrek episode where we do that.
We should. But no, it's Shrek 1, 2, and this, then 3, then 4 and Puss in Boots 1 are like hand in hand with kind of like last spot.
Yeah. All right.
And 1 and 2, I should probably clarify, are like same level for me at least.
I bet if this won an Oscar, they might do a second one. I mean, they might do a second one either way. But I want to ask you, what do you think will win Best Animated Feature at the Oscars this year? Because I think this one is up there.
This is definitely up there. Maybe that's why they wanted to get it out at the same time that Avatar launched, because they're like, we gotta get it in this year or something like that. I don't know, but
I think it'll at least be nominated. But here, let me get this sound.
Yeah.
Quick. What do you think will win Best Animated Feature at the Oscars this year? So we've got here. I can run through a list if you want.
Yeah, run through the list.
So we've got, these are some of the anime movies that came out this year. We've got Lightyear, Turning Red, The Bad Guys, Intergalactic, Strange World, Pinocchio, the Guillermo del Toro one, Sea Beast, Chip and Dale is not really animated, but kind of, and Minions, Rise of Gru, and also Puss in Boots 2. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
That's the thing. Bad Guys would probably, from what I've heard, might take the cake on that.
Really? How come? That was also DreamWorks, I believe.
It's also DreamWorks, but I feel like I haven't seen it. That's the thing, so I can't be a proper judge of that.
Like,
but
okay, it's definitely it's like, I feel like it's sort of with that new animation style. Puss in Boots is really with the new animation style. It's kind of like Bad Guys was kind of like a DreamWorks, not dipping the toe, but they're like half in, you know. And Puss in Boots was like, we're all in kind of thing, in my mind at least, because I saw it on a plane earlier in the year.
Okay.
I do want to say, I had some notes on these. Is that, you say Bad Guys potentially?
I'm saying that if there's any one in the list that would give it competition, would probably be Bad Guys.
I think Pinocchio, the Del Toro one, would give it competition. Yeah, dude, that was good. And I looked it up. Apparently, I was like, has a stop motion film ever won Best Animated Feature? And yes, only once, and it was Wallace and Gromit: Curse of the Were-Rabbit won the Best Animated Feature in the Oscars. So
that's interesting. Yeah, I would thought it would have been like something like Coraline or something like that.
I know, yeah. So
or
maybe
like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Pinocchio can clutch it again, but I really just want Puss in Boots 2 to win. I also think Intergalactic has a chance, because that was the one that I told you about a while ago.
Yeah, I know.
It was like
I feel like it's not, because I feel like
can I describe?
Too close. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Intergalactic is like an animated feature, and it's kind of like really artsy, which the Academy really likes, and it's based on like an album. It's like an album released that became like a story. And are you saying that because it's like kind of too close to the music world,
like
it won't?
I feel like it's too close to Spider-Verse. Yeah, like with how that animation style was. So it's like it's. I mean, don't get me wrong. It still looks amazing.
But Pixar has won Best Animated Feature for like years, and they all look pretty similar. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
But I guess they're plagiarizing themselves. So
yeah.
I'm gonna say Puss in Boots 2. That's my prediction. Same. I also want to do, when the Oscars are like nominees are announced at the end of this month, I want to go through and we'll do an episode where we just make predictions, if that's cool with you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any final thoughts on Puss in Boots: The Last Wish? We like rushed through that, but I was just so excited to like talk about that.
Yeah, dude. No, same. Other than just go see it. No, not really. Yeah. Like give it
a
watch.
My roommate will actually like hate me if I don't mention the Jiminy Cricket. Like my roommate loved Jiminy Cricket on like Jack's shoulders, like trying to be conscious, but Jack is just like a horrible human being. He's like, "You're just a monster." His voice, that was just really funny. Maybe that'll win, and technically, a character in Pinocchio will have won the Oscar. Yeah. That's the best of both worlds. Final verdict with our sequel showdown: Avatar 2 versus Puss in Boots 2. Which do you think is better?
I think Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots.
Boots 2 had the better recovery of the original.
Okay. Gotcha.
If I had to watch one or the other again, I'd probably watch Puss in Boots again.
Yeah. Dude, I completely agree. I think Puss in Boots wins the showdown for me. Like, when I was writing up my notes for this episode, I had such an easy time just flowing through like what I wanted to say for Puss in Boots, because I was just so excited to talk about it. And when I got to Avatar 2, I was like, had a little bit more trouble, and I was like, and I just kept going back to Puss in Boots and like adding things, and I was like, I just want to talk about this. Oh, wait, I forgot that. So like, I'm just more excited about Puss in Boots 2. So yeah. All right, so
agreed.
Puss in Boots 2 wins. Ding ding. They win the sequel showdown. What do they win? they get this empty box of mints. This is the badge of honor. Good job.
You see that, and Antonio Banderas comes into your door. He's like, mine.
I don't know how I would react to that. Fear and excitement. All right,
just awe.
Yeah, I think we should do this again. We should do like put more sequels up against each other, see how they hold up. This was just interesting because we both just saw 2 sequels, but
yeah. When you first proposed this over text, I thought you meant like the Star Wars sequels, and I'm like.
No,
what?
I distinctly wrote that in a way that you wouldn't think that, and you still.
Well, no, because I skimmed at the first one, and then and then you said the second one.
The text was like not to the sequel trilogy. All right, yeah, all right. Ready for TTTT?
Yeah.
Again, I did a super sleep deprived last night, so I don't really have one. This is
Showdown.
This is it. Did you know that Florence Pugh played Goldilocks in Puss in Boots 2, The Last Wish?
I didn't until you pointed it out in the credits.
Yeah. Somebody saw it. Yeah, but it's kind of interesting. It's just like Black Widow. She comes from like a found family. So that's
I didn't even think about that kind of connection. That's like her niche right there. Yeah.
Ready for the draft?
Yeah.
We're doing sequels. Like, what are the best sequels of all time? That's our draft for this week because we just talked about the sequel Showdown. So sequel.
Who's first? You or me?
Draft. Let me check what the last draft was. You started the last one. You just shared a video with me. Yeah, so I start. Ready?
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back, baby.
Actually, I'm okay with giving you that.
What?
And here's why.
You shouldn't be.
Yeah, because like that hits.
That is
hard.
The only choice for number 1.
No. All
right, what are you choosing?
2. It's my number 1.
That was my number 5. So you can have that.
Oh my god, that was your number 5?
I think you're just in Shrek land,
dude. Yeah, that's probably why.
You know what my number 2 is?
What?
The Dark Knight, dude. I feel like, come on, you're failing here, bro.
Oh, yeah, you do have me beat there.
Yeah, you should just quit while you're ahead, bro.
Toy Story 2.
Or when you're not ahead. No, that was my next one.
Yeah.
If I said Toy Story 2, would you have said The Dark Knight or no?
Probably, actually.
Oh, dang. Okay. I'm glad I got The Dark Knight then. Dang it.
Yeah.
I am so... Fine. I'm just going to keep on the superhero train. Spider-Man 2, the Tobey Maguire one.
Dang it!
This one is close. I think we have a very similar list.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Captain America Winter Soldier.
No! Okay. All right.
We're mind melding.
I'm gonna say...
At the end of this, if you want to swap lists, I'd be down for that.
We'll do
I feel like we're picking each other's favorites. Yeah.
I'll do Terminator 2.
I was thinking that too. That's my number 5.
Dude, I'm sorry. We're like not even talking about any of these. So
yeah, we're not. We're just like going. We're just
let's
shooting
go back
at
and
each
just
other.
talk. We were talking about Empire Strikes Back. The Dark Knight, dude. Like, I love Batman Begins, but like the Dark Knight, Heath Ledger's performance, man. Like,
yeah,
you
can't
just
solidify that vibe, that feel of like that grittiness and like that.
Yeah,
so good.
Sorry, you with Shrek 2 though. What do you have to say about that?
Dude, it's so iconic, dude. It's a key piece of my childhood. I could recite it.
Speaking of core memories,
like
the whole
gospel.
Shrek 2 is one of your core memories in your inside out brain. All right.
I'm not sure what that speaks about my mental health, but you know.
it's great things. So Spider-Man 2, I mean, Tobey Maguire, man. It's just like Doc Ock. This like defined the superhero genre for like the future. I think I've watched Spider-Man 2 more than I've watched the original Spider-Man.
Yeah, no, I agree to that. I get totally
the train fight.
That.
Yeah. All right, Toy Story 2 for you.
It's Toy Story 2. I mean, it changed
I'm
up
so
the game.
Mad you got
for
just
3D animation and Pixar in general. You know, like it was such a changing point, and like things look so good. Story was great. It was like the idealistic sequel to how things would be set up for just movies and animation in general.
Yeah. What did we say next? So I said Terminator. You said Winter Soldier.
Yes. So, didn't you have one in between, or did you do 2 and now I'm doing 2?
I did 2. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so, dude, the Winter Soldier. I mean, like, it changed up the feel because, like, the last time we saw Cap was in Avengers.
Dude,
I
know. You're gonna use my voice against me. It changed the feel. I know.
Yeah, but that's the point, you know. It felt grounded and good, and it was so dramatic and great. It was awesome.
Yes. All right. I said Terminator 2 again on the James Cameron train, but like T2, man, you can't like it's so good. Like as a sequel, I think this was one of the first cases of like a sequel being like, oh, sequels can be good, and like yeah, it was. All right, I guess so. I'm next now for the list. You know what? I'm gonna say Kung Fu Panda 2. Honestly, I really like the Kung Fu Panda franchise, and I just want to get one of those in there. And like the freaking villain, Gary Oldman is the freaking peacock, a great villain in my mind. And the inner peace message and the animation, just Kung Fu Panda is so good.
Yeah,
all the fighting.
No, I like that.
That's and I'm glad they didn't like destroy the franchise with the sequel and like kept going. So yeah, all right, you're up.
I'm trying to think of another like live action because I feel like I got a good dip of animation. You know,
you got Thor 2.
Oh no!
The best sequel of all.
Like I prefer Iron Man 1 to Iron Man 2.
Yeah,
I'm now in like Marvel mode too now. I was originally in like
you could say Avatar 2 or Puss in Boots 2. Honestly, like those are on the list still.
Honestly, yeah, might as well. I think I'm going to say Puss in Boots 2.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I do not blame you. That it was such a good sequel.
Yeah,
like.
I mean, I do have 2 Shrek. My list starts and ends with like Shrek properties, but like,
no, you still have one more after this. But
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're just bookending them. What a great! It's like a Shrek sandwich. All right. My last one. I'm gonna honorable mention Paddington 2 just because I haven't seen it yet, but it's apparently like known as like the best movie of all time. I need to watch it. I'm sorry.
Same.
I'm gonna say this is a personal like family reason, but I'm gonna say Harry Potter 2 because I just binge that with my sister all the time, so it has a special place in my heart. And like I don't know, getting Harry Potter franchise in there, I think is always a good thing, you know.
Yeah, I feel like I've lost my connection to the Harry Potter franchise. Sadly.
Really?
I need to rewatch the movies.
Yeah. We should do some episodes on it, maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
My God, I'm running out of ideas. I'm like out of it. We hit all like my main ones.
Yeah, I know, me too. You know? I literally was like, I don't think I'll need to, because I always prep 10 in case we each hit every single one. And this time I was like, we probably won't hit the same ones. We each like were knocking. Yeah, dude,
it was like bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
But no, I'll say this. I'll go for. Oh man, I don't know. I was thinking. I went to Keanu Reeves. I was thinking John Wick, The Matrix. Like, where should I go with this? And honestly, I'm going to say The Matrix.
The Matrix 2?
Reloaded. I'm pretty sure it's Reloaded.
I think that's fair.
That's Reloaded.
The first one I think is definitely better than the second one and third one.
Yes.
But like the third one's not great in my mind, but the second one's I think a fair sequel. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Ready for patron shoutouts?
Yeah, hit me with them.
Cue the epic Star Wars music. Boosh, we got patron Lori, Frank, Rick, Lisa, Evan, Tony. Thank you so much for pledging the tier. Thank you to the shout out if you like your supporters over on Patreon. Links down in the description. You get the audio episode early, special benefits, cool perks, all that jazz, and more. Thank you seriously to our Patreon supporters. I really appreciate you guys because we actually like every year on like January 5th, I get charged for the Adobe suite, which is what I use to edit our podcast, and it's like $600 for an annual subscription, like for a year. It's like a good chunk of change. But with our patrons, you guys have supported us. Everyone supports us so that like if I save up pretty much all of our patron supporters of the year, that pays for the Adobe suite fully, entirely. So it's not anything out of our pocket, which is just such a blessing.
Super
and thank
nice.
You so much. So like you were literally the reason we were able to edit and do this podcast. So thank you. Yeah. All right. Ready for cool comments?
Yeah, what we got this time?
So, on our episode, Was 2022 the Worst Year in Hollywood? Zach Henry said, this has been a good year of movies, and thank you for your podcast that has helped cure my boredom, and I can't wait to see what's in store for you guys next year. Thank you, Zach Henry. That was very nice. I read that over the break and was like, that.
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
It touched my heart, you know? Glad we could help cure your boredom. Hopefully this one did that as well into 2023. Yeah, I haven't really thought about too many like super crazy plans or like goals for 2023 for the podcast, but I do want to sit down and like do that. So maybe we can do that sometime, Daniel.
Yeah.
All right, ready for the introduction.
Yeah, tell me when.
Oh, when?
We just talked about what we want to talk about, and now we're done.
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Happy 2023. I know last week was 2023, but this is the first one we're recording in 2023. And if you want to start out 2023 right, you can head on over to our website and buy some merch maybe if you want. There's some cool stuff up there.
If you guys like us,
maybe this year we'll drop some more merch stuff, some new designs. I'll reach out to Justine. So maybe that's something that'll happen.
We need some gloves some comments, or mittens.
Yeah, leave some comments about what merch ideas you'd want. I think someone said and all that jazz, because I say that all the time. And I was thinking like a Back to the Tank one, because we say that a lot too. So yeah, let us know if you have any other suggestions or like design ideas. All right. Goodbye.
Bye.